Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ty Guy Gaming, and I have alongside me ROWL, and we are back with the ROWL Preseason Tournament Season 2. ROWL, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Excited to get another day of action here in the preseason. We've got a couple of good teams going at it. Dream Kings, as we saw yesterday, and a new arrival on the scene, Alien Mafia. I don't believe related to Alien Academy in any way.
Makes it very confusing.
Indeed, tons of aliens everywhere. You know, just gotta watch out to hope you aren't abducted.
So, Dream Kings we saw yesterday had a great showing, that is for sure. They, placing really well in the last season, doing a good job making it all the way to the semifinals. But see, with Alien, we haven't seen them at all. So I'm pretty excited to see what we're doing. Got a little bit of two comps here. Got a little bit of Dive, and you got the Ryan Zarya. So let's see how this is going to play out.
And the Symmetra that we get to see every once in a while here on Lijiang, both teams are using it. One decides to go to the point, the other just gets within jumping range. And now they'll both go at it. And really, the big deal is how much can this Winston harass and stay alive? It's definitely going to be a tough ask, especially if Dream Kings can just W, but an early pick here from Reckless.
Yeah, the kill there, and then Reckless popping off again, Widow jumping in on that, and this is already an early team win for the side of Alien Mafia, doing such a great job. Kind of got on that point, controlled it, and despite Dream Kings getting there first, it didn't matter. It just seemed like a little bit of the target focus was coming out from Alien Mafia a lot more.
Yeah, and from Dream Kings, it didn't look like they pathed as well, I guess, in regards to the brawl. Oh no, Anor. So Dream King's going to be sent packing once again. But what I mean is, you have a Ryan, and Ryan is really kind of the spearhead of your composition. And with a Winston, Winston doesn't have, a whole lot of staying power. Winston is more of a mobility, get in, get out. And so with a Ryan, you got to take it to him very quickly. But unfortunately, they just kind of let the Winston hide behind the wall, and they were able to get some picks, bought enough time for Reckless to pop off.
So Dream Kings finally coming back here, looking to come up with a new strategy, dropping that Symmetra, trying to just hopefully get some ground there. It looks like Reckless in a little bit of trouble, does get back, Immortality gets taken out, Widow getting the kill now on Anor despite that Immortality going down. And Dream Kings is still in a lot of trouble here, ROWL. They're getting pushed back, but there's a pin. Can't get anything. Turtle Pants going a little out there, not able to find anything. And despite the kills coming in, ROWL, I still think that Alien Mafia is going to hold this point.
Yeah, their team was severely split up by Kermit, who was in the backline primal raging, and just really they couldn't do anything about it when you've got a 1,000 HP monkey in your backline. Gone are the days of being able to burn them down that quickly, especially if you don't have a Zen in your composition. With that Discord, it really can be hard with all of these recent nerfs to chunk that Winston down.
So 88% here, Dream Kings is on the last hope, trying to touch the point. Looks like they might be able to. Marcel looks like they're trying to get on that point. But are they going to be able to? A lot of ults coming in here. Got to burst the grab and the Bob. There comes the Bob. Amplification out. This is not looking good. That's a good grab there by Alien Mafia.
And Widow with a double kill there on the Pharah, and that will pretty much finish things up. And Alien Mafia looking really, really good here to start. Dream Kings really couldn't hold a torch to them at all here. It was just really clean. They got the point first and just were able to hold it on.
It seemed once Alien Mafia won the first point, they kind of had trouble. Dream Kings had trouble pushing onto that. They kind of weren't for sure, and it seems like they were a little together, so they're not playing as strong as they were yesterday. But hey, this is round one of game one of a few games, so anything can happen, right?
Absolutely. You can, that's the kind of neat thing about Control Point, right? Is you have 3 different stages. They're all thematically tied by a location, but they're all different in their own individual way. So, while you may roll on one, maybe you don't necessarily roll on the other 2.
We see that a lot in this league, especially. It does a flip-flop, goes to a round 3. So we see the Symmetra coming back, and we see Dream Kings not deciding to use the Symmetra this time out the gate. And
once again, we get like a kind of a switch where, you know, Alien Mafia goes onto the more brawl, whereas Dream Kings will go on to the more dive composition.
I think a lot of times on these maps, it depends on what comp you do. You can run both, however, sometimes Brawl does a little bit better. It just depends on how it's done, but Widow with the nasty Symmetra getting a 3 kill, actually 4. And the Sim is so strong in this point, and that's why Brawl is so good, is that you just stay on the point, wait for them to come into you, and it's hard to push into that, as clearly we just saw with the Symmetra.
Yeah, nobody took care of the turrets, and they just ripped into people. And obviously, you know, the Winston dove in Turtle Pants, and Widow was just able to charge her beam off, or their beam rather, off of that bubble. And you know, once you get that Symmetra going, if you can't focus them down quickly, they will rip into your team, and we saw evidence of that.
So Dream Kings on the push here, trying to do something. The Winston dive coming in here, but a sim wall early. It's amazing how fast that sim wall is charged. Marcel getting the 2 kills on the Coalescence, coming up huge, breaking the immortality, and they're going to flip this fight. Dream Kings already going to get the point, and despite Alien Mafia holding it, they're only going to get 44.
Yeah, so definitely, you know, a good retake here by Dream Kings, stopping the bleeding before it gets too much worse. As you said, 44%, definitely an amount that is easy to overcome. And it looks like Widow will go ahead and switch onto the Pharah from the Sim, as they no longer have control of that point. Tool-wise, you do have a amplification matrix coming up here, and as I say that, they go ahead and use it. And that's going to be very hard, especially for this Winston. You really have to navigate this, or else, you know, die really, really easily.
Widow getting a kill already onto Turtle Pants. Dream Kings looking like they're going to have to play back. And just this aggression with the Brawl, and here comes the Blizzard in there. But Threadkiller getting a kill with the Barrage, but will it be enough? Alien Mafia seems to be putting the pressure.
Well, trades going back and forth here, and as long as the Pharahs are in the sky, there's always a chance, is what I, you know, like to say. We've seen so many times that been able to go back and forth, but really it looks like Dream Kings here will be able to hold strong, and that fight took quite a bit of time. As you see, Turtle Pants actually managed to make it back into that fight at the end, and they were one of the first to die. So really a great job from Dream Kings being able to hold on to that.
It was crazy. It was a lot going on. You couldn't tell who was going to win that. It was just back and forth, back and forth. But we're coming up on 72% here. And Dream Kings can hold one more time. They should be able to win this. But a grab coming in there, and oh, just a lot of ults coming in. But Honor with a huge Death Blossom, getting 2 kills, and then getting the 3rd. Turtle Pants getting the Primal. And just like that, Dream Kings is going to hold this. This is going to put a lot of pressure on Alien Mafia just to touch the point.
Yeah, I'm not sure, unless maybe the Lucio can wall ride on the outside to the left there and get in there. I'm not sure if they can do it. Just managing to eke through. Nope. Can't quite do it.
Almost did. It was the boop. It was that boop by the Pharah that did such a good job. Threadkiller kind of booped Lamomia away, and they did such a good job at that. Always using the boops to your advantage.
Ready for battle.
Yeah, so Dream Kings with a good response there, as to even things up. They looked really good, and basically that last fight they just threw all of the ultimates they had in the cupboard, you know, in. And we saw kind of the front line there with Kermit from Alien Mafia pushing forward and, you know, trying to follow up on that shatter, but Honor was able to sneak into the back line and found a really good double kill, and that just kind of took the wind out of the sails, so to speak.
So what were you saying, ROWL, about how sometimes in control points it flips the momentum and all that, and here we are in the round 3, the final round. Alien Mafia getting to the point first here, looking to try to hold this. Both teams going to the Brawl, because why not? Rein Zarya is the meta on this map.
Yeah, I always like to see the Rein Zarya here, and especially paired with the Lucio. A great anti-nade coming out early, but Turtle Pants will fall, and both main tanks actually. And so it's really just going to be about who can finish things off. And Honor with a triple, able to really bite into this Alien Mafia team.
Doing a good job. Honor in the background, they just don't seem to have the answer, but Threadkiller up in the air is putting a lot of pressure on them. You have the Mei, and then just about maybe a Baptiste chimed in there, but you just don't have too much to answer to it. So Threadkiller's just getting away with so much. just the pressure, and it allows Nord to push into those tanks so easily.
And I think a lot of that also had to do with Great Gorilla getting a really good anti-nade, really forced Alien Mafia to be a bit more apprehensive than they wanted to be with that Lucio in the composition, which they have now switched over.
Slam comes in, just brutal, just laying them out now. Dream Kings really flipped this. They wanted this back. They were upset about the first round losing, and now clearly they're holding this lead, coming up on the Graviton and the Barrage and a Nano as well. So a few ults that Alien Mafia is going to have to push into.
Yeah, definitely, you know, sometimes you maybe need to get a little wake-up call, and that's what that was first map. Maybe, but we'll see.
Red Killer does go down there to Reckless early, so the wake-up call might be happening right now for Dream Kings. They better watch it, but Turtle Pants and Anor keeping the pressure every time the Alien Mafia tries to come in here. It seems Dream Kings just has the answer to shut it down. Of course, they will have a lot of ults coming up on 4 ults for this next attack.
Yeah, that was just one ultimate used with the Nano, and that is ult efficiency nearly at its peak. I guess you know, the best would maybe be using nothing, but you know, sometimes you gotta do something. And a great shadow here from Kermit. They just found them all out.
A lot of ults being used. There's a Barrage coming in there, Graviton, and the Shatter. There's another Shatter. And Dream Kings managing to stay alive. Dell's on the point, but I think that's just about all Alien Mafia has. They may be able to touch after this, but Dream Kings finds a way to stay into the fight.
Yeah, the early shatter there from Kermit wasn't unfortunately able to be followed up on, and so Thread Killer was able to pump a lot of damage with that Barrage, and they were able to turn it off the back of that.
There's the Barrage, time to find anything. Riddle gets smacked off the point, and now the Death Blossom trying to find anything. Dream Kings is just up to them to clean this up, but they should be able to take this map 1 already.
And so after a tumultuous first stage here on Legion, they're just Dream Kings is able to flip it, and quite convincingly as well. So, you know, Alien Mafia looking good on that first map, but, you know, it just goes to show again that you gotta play the entire round to get the map W.
Let's see this sim, the disgusting sim that we all know and hate. Look at this, just mowing them down. Oh, so terrible. They couldn't do anything there. Just getting put into their place. And Symmetra, you're a fan of Symmetra, right?
I mean, you know, I have no feelings either way. You know, I'm very, you know, partial just to seeing good Overwatch. That's kind of what I'm here for.
And bonus Overwatch.
Bonus Overwatch as well. Yeah, but so, you know, first map going back and forth there. So, you know, if I'm Alien Mafia here, I definitely look to see what I did well in that first map and see if I can maybe replicate that. And I believe it will also be their map pick, so they will get to choose our next destination and perhaps set themselves up for more success. Although I would advise against picking Dream Kings Row.
Dream Kings Row. And as you say that, I look like I see Kings in the chat. Because everybody, look, you can't help it. Everybody likes Kings Row. It's my favorite map. It's your favorite map. I think it's the universe's favorite map. I think everybody that knows anything about Overwatch, it's Kings Row, right?
It's Kings Row, one of the OG maps, and it just really stood the test of time. At least, you know, as far as the player base is concerned. You know, and so obviously we get the pleasure of seeing it here quite often.
So expect to see Ryan Zarya once again coming into this composition. And we did see a mix of dive. We saw Sirius run a bit of dive, and they made it work yesterday. Like easy money making that work. But usually you expect to see the Ryan Zarya. But what do you think Alien Mafia is really going to have to do right now to play against Dream Kings on their best map?
Well, with the Ryan Zarya matchup, it's all about the aggression, making sure that you're all kind of on the same, you know, target, and that you move with a purpose. A lot of teams we see here do try to go, you know, they try fancy stuff. You know, they try to maybe path and be smart and get like positional advantage. But we see time and time again where sometimes that just doesn't work out. As you know, they sometimes position themselves in a way that ends up hurting them more than actually benefiting them, or they end up getting picked. So you just got to be smart with where you're going here, and you just can't beat around the bush.
Can't beat around the bush, indeed. So we have Alien Mafia on the attack first, and Dream Kings on the defense. It's usually how we see it a lot of times going in. Dream Kings usually loves this map. And it's funny is that not everybody, it's not always Dream Kings that picks the map. They're just like, oh, hey, cool, our favorite map, our best map. All right, sure, why not? Let's play it.
Yeah, a very convenient placing. And it looks like from Alien Mafia, we're going to see some more of that Winston come out. So probably will take the high ground here, force Threadkiller down. It looks like Great Gorilla is here as well. And so basically the main goal will be to get them down. As we can see early on, Kermit going on the back line there. They're in trouble as Widow will get the finish there. Kermit just causing all sorts of mayhem in the back line. And Dream Kings is looking worse for the wear here.
And that's good. That dive just executing, diving up top, putting a lot of pressure on, and this just caused Dream Kings to freak out there. I don't think they've seen a lot of teams run that against them, and nor getting the pick, but it's not going to matter at this point. That is clean Overwatch by Alien Mafia. And oh, Threadkiller got a nasty headshot, but it won't be enough to overtake this point here. So 3 minutes are going to take a little bit longer, but they'll have plenty of time on the clock just to push to this second point.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was kind of interesting to watch that. I just literally we watched Kermit just walk all the way around once they got to high ground. Finally, Psycho Music will go to D.Va and contest, but they just literally just walked around to the Widow and the Yana and managed to pin them in a place where Widow was able to follow up and get them both. And geesh.
Marcel finding the pick there on Widow. And of course, Kermit's going on another flank mission in the back, but I don't know how much it's going to work. Anti-Real Nasty barely escapes. Squeaky getting the kill there. Or getting the res, I'm sorry. Threadkiller putting Widow down immediately. So, just as I thought this was going to work out for Alien Mafia, they may have to reset.
Yeah, and Threadkiller just able to have a little bit more space, kind of staying on that low ground, which you generally don't see a whole lot of Widows do. But the difference being is I think Psycho Music on that D.Va is making Kermit have to be a little bit more careful, as D.Va can definitely wreck you, as a Winston. If you're not careful, you're this just big bulky target, and D.Va's cannons are just eat that up for breakfast. And combine that with the mobility, so they will switch to the Rhine here and go for the brawl.
There's a lot of ults, and Marcel does find the kill there on Lamamia, finding that. And, Alien Mafia has a lot of ults coming into this push. They just used the barrage there and the amplification, but they're still kind of struggling in this. There's no guarantee. Turtle Pants with a nasty pin. And now Turtle Pants falls, so it looks like Alien Mafia might be able to get through, but Marcel is just... Dream Kings is putting the pressure on him. They're going to force him back out.
Yeah, holding this choke very, very tightly. It's one of the better defensive positions on the map. Though now that the closer spawn does favor Alien Mafia, they get their main tank back, and so Kermit and company will go ahead and push this further. And Reckless getting a pick on a Marcel.
Here comes the self-destruct, looking for anything, can't find it. That ammo was very clutch by Lamamia there. And here comes the Nor, looking for a lot of kills. Dream Kings picking him up with the Nor and Turtle Pants. Should be able to hold this point now. So all of a sudden, 5 minutes is now down to 3 minutes, and Dream Kings is doing a great job at holding Alien Mafia right now.
And they still can, hold around this corner. They didn't give up too much real estate there, with Kermit coming back, or the rest of Alien Mafia being able to regroup faster. So that's definitely a big win. And so you also have a Nano to invest into Turtle Pants along with the Shatter.
So the Shatter comes in there, but it's not going to be able to get too much done. And they just really nanoed Turtle Pants there. The Kermit trying to go for that Shatter, but despite that, Turtle Pants was nanoed, and they just kept the pressure on it. So now they're getting down to 2 minutes, and really they have Graph ROWL, but they don't have just about any ults to push right now on this attack.
If they can't win this fight, it will just purely be about ultimate generation. That last fight was really critical. I can see what Kermit's trying to do, push past the Rhine, make a play, but you've got to understand that they also have that Shatter, and so Turtle Pants was just able to return that very easily.
Did you see Anor? Did you see Anor and Great Gorilla were up on top, and they jumped down there and kind of just dove. I mean, it was basically a dive. There was some really weird positioning, but it worked out. Just collapsed onto the front line of Alien Mafia. Alien Mafia just doesn't have the answer right now. I think what they're trying to bank for is maybe a Grav Dragons combination.
Yeah, they will, though, have to make sure that Psycho Music does not eat that. I think Psycho Music was able to eat the Fire Strike from Kermit the last time. Kermit will fall. Another big anti from Great Gorilla, finding a lot of value on that Ana. So now this really just becomes a whole lot more of Ultimate Generation if I'm Alien Mafia. But, you know, you've got to understand that this next fight probably will be your last. And not only that, you have to win this fight. As you can see, the cart has almost gone all the way back to the choke. So you have to win that fight, and maybe, you know, well, certainly another fight after that.
It's definitely a tough position. As I see, Ariel, Alien Mafia was starting to get things really good. They started off real strong with the dive and everything, but it just seems like they're trying to rush their composition right now. It seems like they're trying to force a little bit too much. Anor there with the pick, and now the Death Blossom, and just the DPS numerous times keep coming up for Dream Kings. So Alien Mafia, I think they're just trying to rush it a little bit too much right now.
And Thread Killer and Psycho Music get a little too eager there, which is unfortunate, so they will have to cede some space over to Alien Mafia, and that might just be enough to get them in the window. They've got a Bob with which they can engage. They've got Grav Dragons. They also have a Valkyrie, followed closely by an Earth Shatter, so using these right, maybe engaging with a Bob or a Valkyrie, or with a Grav, that works too.
And there it is, the Dragons coming in, not able to find anything. Gal does get the kill, and here's Bob putting the pressure down. And Turtle Pants does get nanoed, but will it be enough? Oh, that was nasty, taking down Kermit. It's kind of one of those fights that's just back and forth. But really, as you said earlier, I think Dream Kings getting too aggressive and giving up those kills to Alien Mafia is really going to cost them. But a triple by Psycho! Unbelievable! And just as I say that, Ario, they're in it to win it, and if Dream King somehow holds it. Wow.
Yeah, that was all they needed. They knew that, you know, not having that Rhine, so you don't have somebody to hide behind. And then Great Gorilla also got a sleep onto the Zarya, so the Zarya was taking a nap there, was not able to bubble themselves, or anybody else for that matter. That could have easily, you know, reduced that from a 3-person bomb to a 1, you know, if, you know, that Zarya is not asleep.
I'll say, we keep on saying about Great Gorilla, and you keep catching a lot. Every so often I just miss it. But I've seen the antis. I didn't know that sleep was happening. If we were picking Ariel, I'm not trying to be biased, I'd be picking Great Gorilla right now for player of the match. They're just making such a huge difference on the antis and just the aggression. I think that's the biggest thing with Ana a lot of times is if you're going to use an Ana, use it effectively. And it's exactly what they're doing. I think that's really why they're able to win and keep this progress going.
Yeah, and just a really solid defensive hold, just constantly just squeezing the heck out of Alien Mafia. And something I noticed is that it really seemed like Alien Mafia wasn't able to get a whole lot of ultimate generation in. You know, we saw that it took them multiple fights to generate, you know, a few ultimates, and by the time they had those ultimates, Dream Kings was just continuously cycling through them, and it was just not enough, unfortunately. They did give them maybe a little bit more space with the kind of over-aggression, but other than that, they've looked pretty flawless here.
So interesting, we see this D.Va again. Somehow it did work a little bit yesterday, but Zarya seems like to be the stronger off-tank right now. But D.Va can work. Thread Killer with a nasty headshot onto Widow. Thread Killer, you gotta punish it. Every time that he sits in the back and just stays on their own, takes out the rest of the team. You gotta keep an eye on him.
And it looks like Alien Mafia is going to cede a little bit of space here, you know, in the name of regrouping. But again, they have to get somebody on this high ground to be able to contest. Otherwise, it's just going to be a very easy fight here.
It seems like an easy fight. Kermit, though, getting 2 kills, and this might just force Dream Kings back. Somehow able to get the pin kill there and another kill. That was great work by Kermit holding him. So unfortunately, Dream Kings thought they were going to have it there, but they're going to come up just a little too short. They'll have to go back to the drawing board on this next push.
Yeah, so definitely thankfully that, Kermit was able to come up big there as they were still kind of regrouping. And Nor found their way back into the back line, but it's just a great peel from Kermit. And another anti coming out from Great Gorillas, forcing Alien Mafia all the way back.
And there's a huge shatter, not slatter. I don't know where that came from. That's a new ultimate coming to Overwatch soon. Now the rest of Dream Kings getting the kills here, so not as good of a time as Alien Mafia, but still going to be serviceable coming up to this next point. And remember, all they got to do is get to the second point, or right before it, and they'll have the win for this round.
And that's the thing, really, is we saw in that previous offense is that time really doesn't matter. Alien Mafia had 5 minutes, couldn't get them to the next point. So really, it's going to be up to them to actually be able to convert.
Grab does come here. The Dragons, the Coalesces. There's a whole bunch of ults. Everything in the arsenal being used right now. Immortality saving the rest of Alien Mafia. Does a great job at keeping them up. So Dream Kings stepping a little bit back out of the choke with Threadkiller getting the kill. And now Psycho killing Kermit, doing such a great job. And this might be the push that Dream Kings needs.
Yeah, they're able to kind of catch them split a little bit. As I think Threadkiller found their way into the back line, found a pick on a Squiggy, and it was just no healing for Kermit. And Kermit's going to switch over to the Winston, perhaps just to get back, contest a little bit. But that's going to be a really, really hard. The ultimate coming out from Anor.
Look at Anor. If he does find one to self-destruct, not finding anything. Blizzard was used, but they couldn't find anything. The rest of the team of Alien Mafia wasn't there. And now Dream Kings looking to just about get this. Can anybody get on Dell with the grab, trying to hold it, but not the rest of the Alien Mafia's there. And Dream Kings takes round 2, doing such a great job right now. So 2-0, putting Alien Mafia on the chopping block.
Yeah, once again looking ever so dominant here on Kings Row. And there's just a lot of that had to do with the ultimates. It's you can have DPS popping off all you want, but Overwatch is a game of ultimates, and it just felt like consistently Dream Kings was always at a great advantage, and they were able to use them well. You saw that, as you said earlier, that it felt like Alien Mafia was maybe pressing a little bit too much, not taking maybe enough time to kind of plan out their options, or assess what was going on, and it felt like they just kind of rushed in and try to make things happen, whereas Dream Kings kind of had a better understanding of what they wanted to use and were able to also execute.
Yeah, it looked like Alien Mafia had a lot of tools and a lot of things in the resources, but they just rushed it a tad bit. We've been on that before, playing on a team. We have everything working, but then we try to rush it and force it too much. So I think if they settle back, relax, I think they can possibly take a map, or possibly take the map off or the match off of Dream Kings if they settle in.
Indeed. So once again, they will have map pick. This time they can't go to Kings Row, so don't have to worry about that favorite for Dream Kings. And so we'll definitely be interested to see where they go and what they choose. It's always very interesting to see what teams pick map-wise. It kind of gives you a little insight into what they feel their strengths are and what they think they can perform the best on. So what compositions they like to run. So it'll be as the season progresses, perhaps we get to see more of that from these teams, but maybe we get a little insight now as what Alien Mafia likes to do.
So as you say, as the season progresses, and of course anybody that's just joining us now in the preseason, so plenty of Overwatch to go. This doesn't even count as the regular season records, but what the preseason does is place everybody into their appropriate divisions and kind of make sure that it's equal in those, and then we play them out, and then everybody, of course, at the end will get ranked, and then they had the playoffs. Fun playoffs. Everybody likes playoffs, but you know what people like more than playoffs, Ariel?
Bonus Overwatch?
Bonus Overwatch. Read my mind exactly. Let's hope that we can see it. Can we get a reverse sweep going on, or at least make it to map 5? I hope so.
Yeah, well, certainly, Alien Mafia's got to start picking things up if we want to see a map. I'm not saying that they can't. I mean, we have seen evidence, especially in that first attack round on Lijiang, or the first stage, rather, that they were able to take that pretty dominantly. And it looks like we've got Hanamura coming up here. We saw that yesterday in one of the matches. It's definitely nice to be able to see that come out. I think last season we saw a lot of Anubis when it came to 2CP. So being able to see a couple teams pick this off, or rather pick this map early on, will be is a very good big treat.
I think we always follow a lot of teams. I think they kind of do the same thing and really repetitive. I think there's a lot of teams with the map pools. They're just comfortable in certain maps, and it happens to be coincidence because we just see occasional. When we didn't see Anubis, we always saw Hanamura, and when we didn't see anything else, like if we didn't see Rialto, you just didn't. You always saw Rialto and Kings Row. Everybody's always choosing Kings Row, and see sometimes Nepal on the control. Nepal or Lijiang seems to be the two most popular on control. So I guess it all depends, but it seems like a lot of teams like following what other teams do, or is it just coincidence?
I mean, people have their comforts, and you can't really change that. Yeah, not a whole lot you can do.
So, getting ready to go in this, and it looks like, once again, Alien Mafia is going to be on the attack, and Dream King's on the defense. Ariel, I know I say this all the time, but this is such a beautiful map. I don't think there's not a beautiful map in the game. This game's just so clean. And it's been out for 4 years, but it just looks good. There's not too many games like this at all.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's very unique and just how well thought out, their maps are. And, the hero designs, you look at the overall hero roster, and you really can't, it'd be very hard pressed to find a game that plays, like Overwatch does, or at least in the regards that how some of these heroes feel, like the experience playing them, like, wall riding around with Lucio, or just darting around as a tracer, blinking around the map. All of that, all being in the same game, same team fights, same time, definitely creates a really wonderful game to play.
I will say it looks like I'm going into the team of Alien Mafia right now. It looks like they destroyed the arcade pretty good. I wonder, every single team I think destroys the arcade in there.
Absolutely, it's a right.
We're gamers. Why are we destroying the gaming equipment? Why?
And so it looks like also there's a sub Rizzoli coming in for the side of Dream Kings, replacing Turtle Pants. So something to watch out for here.
And we're still getting the early pick, and Alien Mafia comes on there with the sim strat, getting onto the point. But really, it doesn't seem to be working out in the best of ways. Rizzoli getting the pick there on Squiggy, and now Reckless going down, and they're just cleaning him up for days. And the sim strat just doesn't always work, and it looks like they fell just a little short onto the first point, so not able to get that first tick. So a good effort, but just coming up a little short, leaving it with about 3:05 coming up here to push.
Yep, one push, 1 minute. It's all right, but I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that Kermit did get split off from the rest of their team. So while the rest of the team was on point, they weren't unfortunately able to have their main tank there, and so it was just very, very easy for them to just get that pick.
Oh, and a gigantic slam! Everybody feeding off of that. Oh, that was nasty by Psycho. Marcel engages that with the Coalescence, and Alien Mafia was not ready. As you hear the bong, that is a team kill, and it was not pretty. Really well executed by Dream Kings, putting them in the ground and making them reset. So now all of a sudden 4 minutes turns into 2 minutes and 20 seconds for Alien Mafia to get this first point.
And another big sleep from Great Gorilla was able to sleep Reckless, who was trying to hack Psycho music, but was unable to get the job done.
That Shatter not finding anything. The grab does come out, but Rizzoli, but they're not able to push up and get it. Psycho going down, this creating a lot of problems, and now here come the other kills in. So just like that, Alien Mafia being able to flip this and is going to get this first point.
It looks like they finally will be able to get things rolling here. Just Reckless, just being a little bit of a menace back there, constantly just on the point, trying to distract them. Hey, come back here, come back here. But just a really good job. So now this task is second point here. As Threadkiller will be able to see everything with this ultimate. But 4.5 minutes to do it. So plenty of time, but as we've seen, sometimes this could be a very tough task.
Let's see where they're going. Looks like they're trying to go mid here.
I think they're just waiting
staying
out
there for a minute.
yeah, waiting out.
The sight lines there by Widow. It's a smart voice. But Anor, they weren't even ready, catches them off. And just like that, the push is over before it even started for Alien Mafia. The 3:58 left on the clock. That is not the way you want to start on your first push coming on to the second point.
That was a very effective fight, just, from the top ropes and all the way down. Able to get 2 before Kermit found the pin, but by that point the damage had been done. So now for them, attacking wise, Alien Mafia, it's about generating this EMP, but you're also going to have both of your tank ultimates to go along with it and a Reaper ultimate. So probably quick grab, EMP, and see what else you can do from there. But Psycho music going all the way behind with a little bit of a flame shatter.
It's not going to really work out though, because Reckless does find Cycle, but Anor getting a few kills, and now Widow stepping up here. This is back and forth, Ariel. Widow with the 3-man, and now Dream Kings is getting forced back to spawn.
Oh, Threadkiller Widow was trying to teleport up there, and Threadkiller said, this is my high ground. Go ahead and get off of it. And so now the respawns will come back in, and that's the unfortunate thing about committing some of those ultimates, especially the Reaper Death Blossom there, is that you had lost, I think, your Rhine and your Lucio right before that. And, so even though Widow did get the 3K, you don't have a whole lot to come back with once those respawns do come in.
Hello there.
So 2:30 left on this. Alien Mafia is running out a little bit of ideas here. They do have the Graviton amplification and the EMP, so I think the big thing here is looking for that EMP grab as they're coming back here. Finally getting on, there's the grab. Will we see the EMP? There it is coming out. But the kill's coming in. Unbelievable by Dream Kings wiping Alien Mafia off the point. You lost it with an EMP grab. How does that happen?
That's just very unfortunate. Unfortunately, the grab from Dell managed to only catch the Rhine, but obviously, as you can see here, everybody else just kind of stood on the high ground, and that's kind of the reason why you didn't get a whole lot, because there's not a whole lot of people there to grab. Reaper was able to wraith out of that, and then as you're getting grabbed, Reckless went ahead, used the EMP, but I think that's because they're deciding to switch as a Sombra, not providing a whole lot of value. And so going on to the Ashe, maybe try to see about something long range to contest this Widow, though. Widow will outrange Ashe in the regards that one-hit headshot, especially since you don't have that Mercy Pocket available for Reckless.
So only a few tools here. They only have the sound barrier. Let's see where they're going to go with this. Trying to be aggressive, getting on there. Nothing by Psycho. Widow getting the early kill, but now Psycho taking out Kermit. Sound barrier coming out. And really, I'm surprised that the sound barrier is being used. I guess they want to really try to win this, but being down that main tank is going to be real difficult.
And, just as I say that Widow outranges Ashe, Reckless proving me wrong here. And that's definitely a big pick, as now it's just about dealing with the respawns. I don't think they're going to be able to contest this anymore.
Wow. Okay, I didn't see that coming at all. That was completely my bad. You think being down the main tank, that wasn't going to work out, but I guess it did. They just kept the aggression and kept pushing on the Dream Kings. 55 seconds, not too bad. At least it's not into overtime.
Yeah, they will, if they do give up both points here, they do get another crack, on offense. So that's big that you're able to secure yourself that extra chance in case if things don't go the way you want them to on the defense. But on that defense, Kings Row was, or rather Kings Row, Dream Kings, excuse me, was looking very solid. But it looks like they kind of got a little bit caught up as Anor was trying to flank around and find something. I think they were really close to their ultimate, and so you wonder what could have been if they would have been able to generate that ultimate maybe a little bit quicker. It almost looked like a pincer movement because Anor was coming from the back, Psycho music was coming from the front. Psycho used Shatter. There's also an anti-nade in there from Great Gorilla. That was pretty fat, and so you just wonder if maybe had the stars just aligned just a little bit more perfectly, that could have been a very, very dangerous fight for Alien Mafia, but that didn't happen, and so they were able to find Anor in the back there. They were able also to punish the aggression from the side of Dream Kings, and so now they're looking to hold here.
So I like that you called that, you were getting mixed up there. You gave into the meme of calling it Dream Row, isn't it? That's the meme that's going around.
Dream Kings Row.
So no sim strat. Oh, actually, yeah, we do have the sim strat. As I said, that I just looked and forgot they had the sim. The Great Gorilla going down, and Psycho does find the kill, but it's not going to be enough for Dream Kings. So we've seen 2 sim strategies, and they both fail. How is that a thing?
I think teams are just way more prepared for it nowadays. It's definitely an established thing, and so there's multiple ways you can deal with it. Specifically when they teleport to the point, right? So you teleport to the point. It depends. If you're holding close, the whole idea is break the teleporter, get on them before they can get on, right? Or we just kind of camp the back end at spawn and just cut them off as soon as they get in, and that's what they were able to do. And so Dream Kings deciding to switch things up here. They'll go ahead with the Winston, who's going to take this high ground here. Will fall onto the point. Oh, the pinch from Kermit. I think that was aimed for the Winston, but ended up getting Marcel there.
There's no other worse feeling in Overwatch when you know somebody else was going for your teammate and then you get picked off. That is not fun. The Psycho trying to get the kill here on Squiggy and will not find it because Kermit punishes again. There, Kermit got Psycho. That's who he was aiming for to start with.
I wonder if they know that Great Gorilla's on the right side here.
Wait a second.
Yeah, on the right. This could be fat if you're able to have Great Gorilla sneak around. They've been getting some pretty big antis. Yeah, it looks like they will kind of go around here. They might run into the Zarya, though. Got to be very careful. They found port mission.
This ain't good, ROWL. Oh, the sleep! What a dirty sleep there. Dell just got played. And Great Gorilla's still on the side there, but Dell's lurking. Look at Gorilla right now, ROWL. Look at this. This is ridiculous.
Cheeky
Overwatch.
little play. They're just kiting, and
there's that anti coming in there, and it's working. Anor popping off huge with the 3. The shatter does come out by Kermit. But I think at this point it might be a little too late. Dream Kings is going to be able to get this point with a little bit of better time than what the Alien Mafia, that's the other team. Yes, I remember. Yes. Alien. We've only been playing this for 2 rounds. Doing a great job putting a little bit more pressure. So they got to get to the end. If they don't get to the end, then, we could be looking at a draw. Is it possible, ROWL, to have a draw?
It could be, if the stars, align properly. But for that to happen, Alien Mafia got to do, hold a little bit, take a couple minutes off of this 4-minute time bank. It looks like they're just going to go straight to point.
Wow, and Psycho getting that nano. Creating problems already. They got 1 tick. Well, they got off the point there. That might be very costly. They could have got that 2nd tick. But now Psycho just popping off with the double, with the Primal Rage, doing such a great job. Red Killer joining on. A few kills come in here. And all of a sudden I thought Dream Kings was going to get this point, and now they're not. And I think what really cost them, ROWL, I firmly believe they maybe could have got a 2nd tick if they would have just stayed on the point instead of rushing off of it.
Yeah, Overwatch is a points game, and so we've seen it time and time again. Just mini transgressions like that by these teams could end up costing them big. But really a big play there by Dell and Squiggy, combining for that nano and then the grav. they were able to just kind of stem the tide, because really that started off with a great play from Psycho and Great Gorilla. It was almost kind of like a modified shotgun, whereas like, you know, you nano the Rhine, they charge in, then you throw an anti-nade. Instead, it was the Winston and the anti-nade, and that got Alien Mafia on the back end.
Psycho getting punched, knocked off the top, trying to put that pressure on and to force them off. And here comes Bob onto the point, putting the pressure on Alien Mafia. They're going to have to move quick. There's the grab. And that's a great grab because they can't get on the point for a second there. Bob's still up. Now the kills are coming in for Dream Kings, looking for anything. And they got to finish up the kills here. And it looks like they're certainly going to be doing that. And I think they're going to be able to get this point.
Yeah, that pretty much will do it. They were able to get established on the high ground there. And as you see, Widow went on to the Doom. I think maybe just kind of disrupt the Winston a little bit. But unfortunately, didn't end up working out too well in the long run there. Though, you know, a minute time is not the worst in the world. It's about maybe a team fight, maybe two if you're ultra quick about it, difference, but still definitely
depends if you get those tactical resets in there.
Yeah, or just, you know, how much you get dominated in the previous fight. You know, sometimes you can just very easily fall prey to just a great combo of ultimates, your team wiped, and then, okay, well, that, you know, that's the fight, you're done.
Done in one. So that 55 seconds was looking okay, but now, of course, Dream Kings gets it a little faster, as you're saying. So the pressure is more on Alien Mafia right now. I mean, if both teams don't get it, then we'll see a draw, and then no matter what, we will get more Overwatch.
But we will have to play that out, and it looks like Threadkiller onto the J Silly, the Junkrat, as it's actually known as. And he's didn't Threadkiller get a early pick this way yesterday? I can't remember. Somebody did yesterday. I think they spotted out this time.
Oh yeah, now I know what you're talking about, and I think, yeah, that's what happened. They had the trap up there. That's exactly what they did. Now I remember. It was within the 5 seconds. I was trying to say something, and the kill came up instantly.
So no pick this time, but a little bit of alt charge there, 30% to that tire. And oh my goodness, that barrier goes down so quickly with the Junkrat. And now they're going to take the fight to them here in this little room, which will go ahead and favor that Junkrat. More are falling, and now Alien Mafia stuck up there. They need to reset quickly, otherwise they could find themselves at a huge disadvantage coming back into the next, you know, really ending fight. The last fight scenario.
Falling there, that's really bad. And like you're saying, you can't stagger like that because now you got 15 seconds to get back to this point, and you may be able to touch one or two people, but will you get the full team back onto the point? And Dell is now on the point trying to contest, waiting to get back on there at the last second. But now you're creating quite a very difficult situation for Alien Mafia.
Another anti there in from Great Gorilla, and Alien Mafia does not look like they're going to be able to mount anything, though this Tracer on the point, will be, you know, chunked down, but so valiant effort, but unfortunately, no dice.
So no matter what, Dream Kings cannot lose this map. Because of the situation, Alien Mafia did not get a tick, so it's either going to be a draw, or Dream Kings is going to walk away with a 3-0, and that would be their second 3-0 back-to-back, looking very strong in this preseason.
Yeah, definitely a very authoritative way to start things off, and a, you know, good way to pick up from last season if your Dream Kings is to be able to get a couple of 3-0s, just kind of, you know, work out any kinks that you might have, but also just, you know, getting that reinforcing feeling that, you know, we did good.
Ready
we did good.
Put that on a shirt. How many quotes that we say that I'd like to put on a shirt? But
too many. You should make your own T-shirt factory.
I should. I'm in the wrong business instead of casting. You know.
Yeah.
We can do our own commercials too with our voices and all that. Since we practice casting and all that, we can do that. Anybody in the chat right now, donate $5. Anybody that's down, give some donations. Give us some quotes.
I don't think they can.
I think, yeah, we can't do donations, but what you can do is, you know, I'll put in my PayPal information. You know, we can get this out. Let us know if you want to get us going. I think if all of us get together as a big group, I think we can get this going.
Well, I think, you know, maybe a little overambitious. For now, we'll see.
Tie Guys T-shirt factory. Let's get it going. Spam it in the chat right now. So 155 here. Dream Kings looking to find something, but look at Reckless on the Bastion. That is always a difficult thing to push into. You got to be quick, and you got to find a way to get around it.
Double shield, Bastion, with a Torb as well. So it's just going to be about getting into positions where this Bastion can't see you. I think I heard the Reaper teleport somewhere. Yes, left side here is Anor is going to try to get prime positioning. And so really, Threadkiller can't peek for more than a second, but that was all the distraction they needed. That was actually really smart, able to sneak the dive tanks into the right and get the res. So now you're looking a lot better here. You're going to have to move you through the Bastion. I think they will go ahead and move maybe into that corner a little bit. So look at how much time is being wasted as well. They've got a minute.
Time. I only got a minute, and so that's about 2 team fights, really. So if they fail this one, we may be looking at a draw. It's going to be difficult. They got to execute. They got to move quick. But look at Anor trying to sneak around the back. It's all about getting that Bastion, but Anor goes down instantly. And Dream Kings is getting wrecked right now. They can't find an answer at all to this. And so I'd be careful. They don't want to get caught here. Threadkiller and Marcel in a dangerous position. Oh, and Reckless found him. Here it goes, the standoff for days.
And Threadkiller going to try to just evade, and it looks like they will be able to do so. This is the game of chicken here, and Threadkiller and Marcel are going to be the victors. They do have this very vital positioning on the left side. Maybe they can, you know, just kind of spam in the back, but here it's really got to start with your tanks. Winston's got to dive in, Diva's got to follow with that defense matrix, and then allow Anor to be able to get to that back.
The Barrage coming out, it was a decoy trying to throw it off, but it's not going to matter because Dell picks up the kills. But now all of a sudden, Dream King staying alive into this, finding 2 kills themselves. This back and forth, the res does come up. Marcel picking up Psycho, and this is getting really difficult here for Alien Mafia to stay alive, and it looks like Dream Kings is actually going to be able to get this.
Oh, what a sleep from Great Gorilla. That could have been a devastating shatter. And now Psycho Music will go ahead, pop the Primal. They will be able to take this after all. What a great job from Threadkiller to generate that ultimate to kind of put all of that damage in to start the fight. But really, a great job from Dream Kings being able to navigate that very tough obstacle.
So Dream Kings, undefeated, going with a 6+6 map differential in the preseason, doing a great job. And ROWL, that was getting very scary because I didn't know if they could do it. But what was genius is the fact that the dive tanks went in there. With Raz and Psycho kind of pressuring onto the point, it allowed Threadkiller to stay in the back and pop that barrage, and it was just enough to overwhelm Alien Mafia. So I think we saw Alien Mafia do a lot of good things, and I'm glad to have them in the league. They just got to be careful and not rushing a little bit. I think that was their major downfall. But Dream Kings looking really, really good to start off this season.
Yeah, but always a great way to start things off, getting 2 victories. You know, just kind of warming up. But you know, there are still quite a few other teams in this league that are waiting to test their mettle against one another. So you know, good signs early, but you know, you still have a ways to go if you're Dream Kings.
So a lot of work being done. Now I got to find out what else is going on in the league. Of course, as we have said before, the preseason we ain't going to have the players of the matches or a few other things, and that's because we're going to save those for the season. We do appreciate everything, and of course, you can vote in your head who you thought would have been MVP of the match, but we won't do those for now. But however, once we get to the season, we got all kinds of things in store, adding things, and it should be fun. I don't know what's going to happen, ROWL, but I tell you, I just hope we see more bonus Overwatch and more stuff we'll get to see in the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, it's what the preseason always gets you hyped up, right? And you're able to see, you know, these teams, you know, start to get at it, you know, outside of scrims, and you know, get to see, you know, who's going to be a big factor in their team's success throughout the season. You know, get a little sneak peek of that. And so, we'll be back with a little bit more tomorrow as well. Sunday, 8 p.m. Well, approximately 8 p.m. You know how we roll. But we'll hopefully be able to have a little bit more. I'm not sure who's going to be casting that match, but I know whoever.
It will not be me, unfortunately, for the
yeah.
first time.
Unfortunately, no Guy Gaming for us tomorrow.
Well, except the one time I overslept, but nobody talks about that time. That was a different situation. we won't talk about that one time. Everything else I've been here for.
But yeah, so other news from around the league for today. I'm not sure too many matches actually went on. I don't have the status of Renaissance versus Alien Academy. By the way, I made a very big blunder, I think, according to somebody in the Twitch chat, that Alien Mafia and Academy are actually affiliated. So my apologies on that for spreading that very vicious misinformation.
Well, I can't fault you because I didn't know that either. But now we know.
I could have sworn I read somewhere that they were not affiliated, but if Twitch chat is right, then they are. So my apologies for that.
They're always right.
Twitch chat is. I don't know about that.
Just like
of all things,
the internet, the internet is always right.
The customer, the Twitch chat, and all things that are totally right.
You're right.
But yeah, so those were so Dream Kings Alien Mafia, which you just saw, and then Renaissance versus Alien Academy. Those are the only two matches that actually did end up happening. So, preseason, we're not going to sweat these things too much. But tomorrow's slate of games, we've got SM Lunatics versus Renaissance, Dream Kings versus Renaissance, Sirius versus Sparrow, and then Alien Academy versus Alien Mafia.
I'm going to cry that I can't be
there. Going on
That's
there.
a rematch of the semifinals last year that was so tight going to that map 5, Renaissance and Dream Kings. I wish I could be there because I think Dream Kings has the advantage coming into it. I really think they do right now. But we'll wait and see. Who knows? Because we don't know how Overwatch is going to go. It's a game of chance.
Yeah, and it's any given day, and hopefully, I just want a good match. As we saw, really good semifinals. Hopefully, we'll get to see another dominant display from both of those sides in the preseason tomorrow. So
that's all I got. Anything else, Ariel?
Nope, as always, thanks for joining us. You can catch us again tomorrow, 8 p.m., approximately. As always, we also appreciate all the support you guys give us here at Renaissance Overwatch League. And so, for Guy Gaming, I'm Ariel. We'll see you guys tomorrow.